But once he's in that ring, you have to fight like his life is dependent on it, because it will be.
I truly believe that there's a lot of people who, see me as an arrogant ass, which I can be sometimes, but I'm just having fun and entertaining the world. And I do think that the older generation wants people to see Mike knock me out, but at the end of the day, I also have the kids, the middle schoolers, the high.
Meanwhile, the 58-year-old's previous remarks have come to light. Mike Tyson once said that because of the big age gap between the two guys, he would never take on his younger opponent. Not everyone was convinced that Tyson should fight Paul, and this is one of the most controversial battles in sports history. Jake Paul was busted by Evander Holyfield for lying about the Mike Tyson fight. Approximately 2 years ago, Mars from the renowned boxer made his podcast debut on Iron. Mike insisted that there was no way for a fight to occur. Tyson said, "Everyone in my family loves this little white, and I would never fight him." Man, I don't want to fight him. I take on real fighters, warriors who inflict fear and damage on large.
Yeah, but all these people pay. Look how much money he got paid. I said, look how much money professional get. Somebody else is dipping in the money. Like that, I think Jake Paul is good for boxing, for us to go back and look at and say, hey, this thing ain't right. Now.
Strong, intimidating men. I fight these men for the exact same money that Tyson gets paid to fight. Permit him to rule. Give him some space and time. The fact that Paul was a man 31 years his junior was unknown back in March. For his comeback to the ring, Mara predicted Tyson will probably receive $20 million, hoping to slow down the years this winter. Tyson has been putting in a lot of effort in the gym. Paul recently defeated Mike Perry. Letting the exciting fight with Tyson begin, Mike Tyson's progress continues to improve, making his comeback look unstoppable, but Jake Paul is excited to fight the renowned fighter Tyson in May. He looks forward to the prospect of winning the fight that might define his career and imagines a sold-out stadium. After Paul's bout's rules were made public, Mike got the outcome he wanted. The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation officially approved the professional boxing match. Although Paul is classified as a cruiserweight, the fight is slated to be a heavyweight match that consists of 8 two-minute rounds. Two-time world champion Timothy Bradley thinks Tyson has a clear advantage over Paul due to his explosive power in the opening few rounds, which may easily result in a knockout.
That Jake Paul have and all this. But he's gonna be a lot quicker. And if he stay close to Mike, then his chance of winning gonna be great. But he tried to stay back from Mike.
Bradley declared, "I didn't think Tyson was going to knock him out quickly at first, but after viewing the regulations, I knew it would be by knockout. Instead of 3 minutes, there are just 2. I have no doubts at all." He went on, "Consider it. He will emerge, as he always does, like a tornado. He will be cornered by him. He's going to physically shut him out. He's going to eliminate him. He has every advantage to eliminate Paul from the game at any moment. You know that Tyson will have everything going his way in 2 minutes. The last thing to disappear is power." Famous boxer Butterbean has called the historic bout between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul a farce that he thinks will never happen. The fight's result will rely on how successful.
Mike is like a snake. He'll pop out on you. He get there too quick. But if you charge him, you're gonna smother everything, because everything he push off his legs. He push off his legs so he too close. Like this, but if you give him wrong, everybody get knocked out.
The somewhat condensed format took into consideration the differences in fitness and age. Paul may be taken down with a single well-aimed strike from Tyson, who is still lethal despite having lost some of his endurance. According to the training videos Tyson shared on social media, his hand speed appears to be as swift as ever, despite the 30-year age difference between the two combatants. 58 years of age Tyson, who hasn't competed since 2005, won't step foot in the ring again until 2020 when he faces Roy Jones Jr. in an exhibition match. Just 2 months after its announcement, the battle was abruptly postponed from its intended July Netflix premiere date. There was a postponement.
But the point of the matter is do Jake Paul take a good shot? I never seen him get hit by nobody.
Or a guy that the power of Mike even up, because power's the last thing to go.
Yeah, I'm talking so that's it. But you never know. Yeah, just like Mike quit in the ring, he got tired and just quit and just sit down.
After that. Iron, even though the fight was rescheduled for November 15th due to Mike's medical concern in May, Butterbean real name Eric HH is still skeptical that Tyson and Paul will ever enter the ring. He asserted that there had never been a real fight between Tyson and him, and that the entire situation had been a publicity ploy to raise Jake's profile. Tyson, the former super heavyweight, continued by saying the whole charade was planned, knowing full well that the fight would never happen, and that they never meant to square off against each other, because a promoter would never let them fight in between matches. He made this assertion.
Mike, because of Mike's body of work, his experience, that like he shouldn't be losing a fight like that.
But the thing is you don't get in these things if you don't believe you can win. I'm saying that's my whole thing. I ain't never fought when I ain't think I can win. Every time I ever got in the ring, I thought I was gonna win. I'm like, I'm gonna give my all. I'm like, so the whole big thing is that's a whole.
While bringing up Paul's bout with Mike Perry, which displaced Tyson 5 fights into his career. The former boxer faced Paul, but Butterbean pointed out that it was never really a fight and that it was a scam from the beginning. Following Paul's victory over former UFC fighter Perry at the end of last month, Butterbean called out Paul for toying with the idea of getting back into the ring, which occurred nearly 10 years after his previous bout in 2013. Following the fight, Tyson sent Paul a horrifying social media post demonstrating his relentless determination. He posted 118 days, 16 weeks, 6 days, and 17 weekends on Instagram. It's clear from Tyson's comments that he is totally focused on defeating his younger opponent. 2,832 hours, or 169,900 minutes after the timer goes off at 10, 15, 20, and so on, Paul overcomes Perry. Tyson uploaded a silent video of himself watching Paul on TV the following week. Super Bowl Hall of Famer Peyton Manning is scheduled to attend the August 18th media event as a special guest. Since their first planned meeting was rescheduled, this will be Manning and the press's first encounter. A press conference between Tyson and Paul is planned prior to their November fight. Baggio Ali Walsh, the great Muhammad Ali's grandson, recently caused a sensation by pushing Jake Paul to fight against opponents who were more competitive than him. This appeal was made in response to news that his brother Nike Ali Walsh, who has established a remarkable career out of mixed martial arts, had been offered a large sum of money to take on YouTuber turned boxer Baggio. Subsequently, you benefit despite only competing in bare-knuckle boxing and having experience in multiple mixed martial arts organizations. Mike is an amazing fighter. He continued by saying he is a stand-up guy. I think the fans would rather see him fight a boxer of a comparable size, even though Jake defeated him and Anderson Silva defeated Nate Diaz. He does great marketing too, but you have to give credit where credit is due in the interim. UFC star Michael Chandler believes it will be an interesting spectacle, so he's rooting for Mike Tyson to kill Jake Paul, despite the man's many faults. Chandler said that Mike Tyson, who is 30 years older than Jake, is meeting Jake Paul, who is about 30. Jake Paul had previously faced Mike Perry, whom he had dominated by 20 pounds and was 4 inches taller than. It has been urged that Jake Paul give up on his intention to challenge Alex Pereira, the UFC champion. After defeating Mike Perry in the 6th round earlier this month, the former YouTuber turned boxer switched his focus to the current light heavyweight champion. He was awarded a high-profile bout against heavyweight boxing in November as a result of his victory. The legendary Texas fighter Mike Tyson Paul is still after Pereira. Despite Alex Pereira's 2 weight class triumphs and reputation as one of the UFC's most tough opponents, Paul insisted he could defeat the Brazilian in a boxing ring. Come on over, I'm the king of this, and together we can make it happen. You expressed a desire to box. Alex Pereira, you're mine. I took down multiple UFC champions and a BKFC champion. We should get Alex Pereira to follow Mike Tyson into the ring, as he stated that he wanted to box. Although the organization's CEO Dana White may have approved the fight, it is improbable that he would have approved Pereira's release because he is still obligated under contract to the UFC. It's unknown whether the commission would approve the battle because White doesn't think it would receive a license. Following his triumph versus Perry, White said during the press conference that the entire Transmit podcast, Paul stated, I want everyone to know how much I love this sport, and he's tweeted about wanting to go into boxing before going on to talk about his ambition to face Pereira. I said to him, "Can you get out of your contract? If so, let's run it," and he stopped before turning to look at his manager. It's generally believed that,